The novel begins by introducing the main character, Mitch McDeere, a young and ambitious lawyer who graduates from Harvard Law School with top honors. Coming from a modest background, Mitch has always been driven by a desire to succeed and provide a better life for himself and his wife, Abby. His hard work and determination pay off when he receives multiple job offers from prestigious law firms across the country. Mitch eventually chooses to work for Bandini, Lambert & Locke, a small but highly successful firm based in Memphis, Tennessee. The firm offers him an incredibly lucrative package, including a high salary, a low-interest mortgage on a house, a new BMW, and numerous other benefits. The offer seems too good to be true, and Mitch, eager to escape his humble beginnings, accepts it without much hesitation. As Mitch and Abby settle into their new life in Memphis, they are quickly charmed by the firm's close-knit community and the luxurious lifestyle it affords them. The partners and other employees at Bandini, Lambert & Locke are friendly and welcoming, and the firm seems to place great emphasis on family values and loyalty. Mitch is thrilled with his new job and the prospects it offers, feeling that he has finally achieved the success he has always dreamed of. However, as time goes on, Mitch begins to notice certain oddities about the firm. He learns that the partners are all wealthy, but none of them have ever left the firm or retired. Additionally, the firm has an unusually high turnover rate among its associates, with several young lawyers having died in mysterious circumstances over the years. Despite these red flags, Mitch dismisses his concerns, attributing them to paranoia and focusing instead on excelling in his work. Unbeknownst to Mitch, he is being closely monitored by the firm. Every aspect of his life is under scrutiny, from his work performance to his personal habits. The firm even has connections with local law enforcement and other influential figures in Memphis, ensuring that no one dares to question its practices or intentions. As Mitch becomes more entrenched in the firm, the pressure to conform to its ways intensifies. The partners make it clear that loyalty is paramount, and that any deviation from the firm's expectations will not be tolerated. Mitch finds himself increasingly isolated, as the firm's control over his life tightens. Despite the mounting pressure, Mitch remains determined to succeed, unaware of the dark secrets that lie beneath the firm's polished exterior. In this introduction, the reader is drawn into Mitch's world, a world of ambition, success, and slowly unraveling mystery. The stage is set for a gripping story of deception, betrayal, and the dangerous lengths one must go to in order to uncover the truth. Discovery of the truth. As Mitch continues to work at Bandini, Lambert & Locke, he gradually uncovers disturbing truths about the firm. His suspicions are first aroused when he is assigned to work on cases involving clients who seem to have connections to organized crime. The more he delves into these cases, the more he realizes that the firm's primary business is laundering money for the Marolto crime family, a powerful mafia syndicate. Mitch's discovery is both shocking and terrifying. He begins to piece together the puzzle, understanding that the firm has been systematically engaging in illegal activities for years. The partners are deeply involved in these operations, and the firm's enormous wealth is largely derived from these illicit dealings. Mitch realizes that the high salaries and luxurious perks offered to him and other associates are funded by the profits of crime. The firm's tightly knit and seemingly supportive community now takes on a sinister aspect. Mitch learns that the partners are not just lawyers, but active participants in the criminal network. He also discovers that the deaths of several young associates were not accidents but were orchestrated by the firm to eliminate those who posed a threat to its secrecy. The firm's practice of monitoring its employees closely is revealed to be part of a larger scheme to ensure that no one ever exposes their operations. As the reality of the situation sets in, Mitch becomes increasingly paranoid. He understands that his life is now in grave danger, as the firm will go to any lengths to protect its secrets. His every move is watched, and he knows that any sign of disloyalty could lead to his death. Mitch also realizes that he cannot simply walk away from the firm, as doing so would put both him and his wife Abby at risk. Despite the overwhelming fear and pressure, Mitch knows that he cannot ignore what he has discovered. He is caught in a moral dilemma. Should he stay silent to protect himself and his wife, or should he take action to expose the firm's crimes, knowing the risks involved? This internal conflict drives Mitch as he begins to secretly gather evidence against the firm, all the while trying to maintain the appearance of loyalty and dedication to his work. The discovery of the truth marks a turning point in the novel. Mitch's life, once filled with promise and ambition, is now overshadowed by fear and uncertainty. The tension builds as Mitch navigates the treacherous waters of deception and danger, knowing that one wrong move could be his last. This chapter sets the stage for the high-stakes game of cat and mouse that will unfold as Mitch attempts to outsmart the powerful and dangerous forces that seek to control him. Mitch's alliance with the FBI. Faced with the terrifying reality of Bandini, Lambert and Locke's criminal operations, Mitch realizes that he cannot take down the firm alone. Desperate and fearing for his life, he decides to reach out to the FBI, knowing that they are already investigating the firm and its connections to the Marolto crime family. Mitch's decision to cooperate with the FBI is a pivotal moment in the story, marking the beginning of his dangerous double life. Mitch meets with FBI agents who confirm his worst fears. The firm is deeply entangled with organized crime, and anyone who tries to expose them ends up dead. The agents offer Mitch a deal. In exchange for his help in gathering evidence against the firm, they will provide protection for him and his wife, Abby. Mitch agrees, realizing that this is his only chance to escape the firm's deadly grip. From this point on, Mitch becomes a double agent, working for the firm while secretly feeding information to the FBI. This new role puts him under immense pressure, as he must maintain his cover at all costs. Any slip-up could alert the firm to his betrayal, which would almost certainly result in his death. The stakes are incredibly high, and Mitch knows that he is walking a tightrope between life and death. Mitch begins to gather crucial evidence, carefully copying documents and recording conversations that implicate the firm in money laundering and other illegal activities. He has to be extremely cautious, as the firm's surveillance of its employees is thorough and relentless. Mitch's every action is watched, and he must constantly find ways to evade suspicion while continuing to do his job. At the same time, Mitch struggles with the moral implications of his actions. By cooperating with the FBI, he knows he is putting his life in even greater danger, but he also understands that this is the only way to bring the firm to justice. The stress of leading a double life takes a heavy toll on him, and he becomes increasingly isolated, unable to confide in anyone, not even his wife. Mitch's alliance with the FBI escalates the tension in the novel, as he becomes more deeply involved in the firm's criminal activities while secretly working to expose them. The danger intensifies, and the sense of impending doom grows as Mitch races against time to gather enough evidence before the firm discovers his true intentions. This section of the story is a high-stakes thriller, filled with suspense and danger, as Mitch navigates the treacherous path he has chosen in his quest for justice. The threat intensifies. As Mitch McDeere's covert operations with the FBI progress, the danger surrounding him becomes more acute. Despite his efforts to gather crucial evidence against Bandini, Lambert and Locke, the firm remains vigilant, and Mitch's every move is scrutinized. The tension heightens as Mitch's double life becomes increasingly precarious, with the risk of exposure growing by the day. Mitch's relationship with the firm's partners begins to show signs of strain. The partners, who have become accustomed to their associates being loyal and compliant, start to suspect that something is amiss with Mitch. Their suspicion is fueled by small discrepancies and changes in Mitch's behavior, which, while subtle, do not escape their notice. The partners, especially Avery Toller, become more demanding and scrutinize Mitch's activities more closely. The threat against Mitch escalates as he begins to feel the weight of constant surveillance. The firm's surveillance extends beyond the office, with private investigators following him and Abby, monitoring their every move. This constant watch amplifies Mitch's stress and paranoia, as he must navigate his daily life while staying under the radar of both the firm and the FBI. The FBI agents, aware of the escalating danger, ramp up their efforts to protect Mitch. They provide him with additional security measures and advise him on ways to avoid detection. Despite these precautions, Mitch faces a constant psychological battle, torn between the fear of being discovered by the firm and the pressure to deliver the evidence needed to bring them to justice. Climax and resolution. The tension reaches its peak as Mitch McDeere's plan to expose Bandini, Lambert, and Locke comes to a head. With the evidence he has gathered, Mitch is ready to take decisive action, but the threat from the firm and the Marolto crime family looms larger than ever. Mitch knows that he must act quickly to avoid being discovered and to ensure that justice is served. In a dramatic turn of events, Mitch manages to provide the FBI with critical documents and recordings that confirm the firm's involvement in money laundering and other illegal activities. These pieces of evidence are crucial for the FBI's investigation and enable them to launch a major crackdown on the firm. The operation is swift and decisive, leading to the arrest of several key figures within the firm, including the partners who orchestrated the criminal activities. As the FBI moves in, Mitch's own safety becomes even more precarious. The firm, now aware of the investigation, intensifies its efforts to locate and eliminate Mitch and Abby. The danger reaches its zenith as Mitch and Abby must evade relentless pursuers, who are determined to silence them before the evidence can fully unravel the firm's crimes. The climax of the novel sees Mitch and Abby making a desperate escape. They use the false trails and precautions they have set up to mislead both the firm and the crime family, narrowly avoiding capture. Their flight is tense and fraught with danger, as they navigate through a series of near-miss encounters with their pursuers. In the end, Mitch and Abby manage to find refuge on the Caribbean islands, far from the reach of their former enemies. They adopt new identities and begin a new life, but their freedom comes at a significant cost. Although they have successfully escaped the immediate threat, they are now living under the constant shadow of their past actions. The sense of unease and the need to remain vigilant continue to loom over their new life. The novel concludes on a note of mixed emotions. Mitch and Abby have achieved their goal of exposing the firm and securing their own safety, but the price of their victory is high. They have sacrificed their old lives, their peace of mind, and their sense of normalcy. The resolution of the story emphasizes the complexities and sacrifices involved in the pursuit of justice, leaving the reader with a poignant reflection on the cost of standing up against corruption and crime. Themes and motifs. John Grisham's novel, The Firm, explores several significant themes and motifs that give depth to its thrilling narrative. These themes highlight the moral dilemmas faced by the protagonist and provoke readers to reflect on the nature of power, corruption, and human weakness. Corruption and moral decay. A central theme of the novel is the corruption that permeates not only the firm but also the world in which Mitch McDeere operates. The firm, Bandini, Lambert and Locke, represents a manifestation of ruthless capitalism, where laws and ethical standards are mere facades for criminal activity. Mitch quickly discovers that the firm is engaged in money laundering for the Marolto crime family, illustrating how deep corruption can run. The novel demonstrates how corruption can destroy not only individual lives but entire communities, stripping away the possibility of honest and fair existence. Mitch's dilemma is whether to conform to this corrupt system or risk everything to expose it, highlighting the difficulty of fighting a deeply entrenched system. Moral choice and responsibility. Mitch's moral choice is a key motif in the story. Initially enticed by the firm's offer, Mitch finds himself grappling with a serious moral dilemma as he uncovers the firm's illegal activities. He must decide whether to remain silent for the sake of his safety, or to take action and risk exposing himself and his loved ones to danger. Through Mitch's journey, the novel underscores the importance of moral responsibility. His decisions and their consequences emphasize that individuals cannot remain passive in the face of wrongdoing. Grisham's portrayal of Mitch's struggle highlights the cost of standing up against corruption and the personal sacrifices required to achieve justice. Personal safety and freedom. Another significant theme is the conflict between personal safety and the desire to maintain one's freedom and moral integrity. Initially, Mitch is lured by the firm's promises of security and wealth. However, he soon realizes that this safety is an illusion, as he becomes trapped in a system that controls and monitors every aspect of his life. The novel explores the notion that true freedom is compromised when one is forced to live under constant surveillance and pressure. Mitch's fight to reclaim his freedom and escape the firm underscores the personal cost of battling such a powerful entity. Power and its abuse. The story also delves into the theme of power and its abuse. Bandini, Lambert and Locke wields immense power, which it uses to protect its criminal activities. This power is based on fear and control, suppressing any challenges to its authority. Mitch's initial admiration for the firm's power contrasts sharply with his later realization of its corrupt nature. Grisham shows how power can become a tool of oppression and violence when wielded by unscrupulous individuals. The novel highlights the dangers of unchecked power and the lengths to which people will go to maintain it. Nature of justice. Finally, the theme of justice is central to the novel. As a lawyer, Mitch is initially dedicated to upholding the law, but he finds that justice is not always aligned with legal processes. The firm's legal facade masks its criminal operations, challenging Mitch to reconcile his sense of justice with the reality of his situation. Grisham poses the question of whether true justice can be achieved in a world where legal systems are corrupted by powerful interests. Mitch's quest for justice, despite the risks, reflects the broader struggle to hold wrongdoers accountable and the complexity of achieving real fairness. In summary, the firm weaves together themes of corruption, moral choice, personal safety, power, and justice to create a compelling narrative. These themes add depth to the story and invite readers to reflect on the broader implications of Mitch McDeere's experiences and choices.